You already know what the habit is. You do not need someone to name it for you. Maybe it is the way you reach for your phone before your feet even touch the floor in the morning. Maybe it is the food you swore you would stop eating, that you are eating again tonight. Maybe it is the person you keep going back to, even though you know exactly how it ends. Maybe it is the silence, the way you choose to do nothing when you know that something needs to change. We all have one. Some of us have several, and we have tried to stop more than once. We have made the promise in the mirror. We have deleted the app. We have thrown away the cigarettes. We have said goodbye for the last time, again. And then we went back. So the question is not, what is the habit? The question is, why? Why do we return to the things that diminish us? Why do we choose what we know will hurt us? Why does knowing better never seem to be enough? That is what we are going to change today. Not with willpower, not with another promise you make to yourself at midnight, but with something deeper, something the greatest minds in human history understood, long before modern science gave it a name. Today, we are going to go beneath the habit. We are going to look at what lives underneath it. And when you see it clearly, you will never unsee it. That is the beginning of freedom. Let us start with one honest question. When was the last time you did the thing you regret? And asked yourself, not what did I do, but what was I feeling right before I did it? Not the action, the feeling before the action. Because here is what most people never realize. The habit is never the problem. The habit is the solution. It is the solution your mind invented a long time ago to deal with something it did not know how to carry. Loneliness, anxiety, the feeling of not being enough, the fear of being too much, boredom that goes so deep it starts to feel like emptiness. Your mind found something that worked, something that made the feeling smaller, even just for a moment. And it remembered. That is not weakness. That is survival. But survival strategies have an expiration date. What protected you once can imprison you later. And this is where awareness becomes everything. Epictetus was born a slave. He had no freedom over his body, his circumstances, his future. And yet he became one of the most liberated minds in all of human history. He said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Read that again slowly. Make the best use of what is in your power. Not what you wish were in your power. Not what used to be in your power. Not what will be in your power one day. What is in your power right now? And what is always in your power is awareness. The moment you become aware of the feeling beneath the habit, you create a space, a small space, just a breath wide. But in that space lives a choice. And choice is where your freedom begins. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth. He had access to every pleasure, every comfort, every distraction known to his time. And every morning, before the world demanded anything of him, he wrote to himself. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was not writing to Rome. He was writing to the part of himself that wanted to reach for the easy thing, the comfortable thing. the thing that felt good now and cost him later. He understood something we forget. The battle is never out there. It is always in here. So what lives inside the habit you cannot seem to break? Sit with that for a moment. Not with judgment, not with shame, just with curiosity. Because shame never broke a single habit in the history of humanity. Shame only drives the habit deeper underground, where it grows stronger in the dark and resurfaces when you are most vulnerable. Awareness is different. Awareness looks the habit in the face and says, I see you. I know what you are protecting me from, and I am ready to find a better way. Rumi understood this from a different direction. He wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you. The habit is not your wound. The habit is what you built over the wound to keep it from being seen. And the healing does not come from tearing the habit away by force. It comes from finally letting the light in." This is why willpower alone never works. Willpower fights the surface, but the wound lives deeper than willpower can reach. You need something willpower cannot give you. You need understanding. You need to know the story the habit has been telling on your behalf. What does the habit say about what you believe you deserve? What does it say about how safe you feel in the world? What does it say about the version of yourself you are still afraid to become? These are not comfortable questions, but they are the only ones worth asking. Seneca wrote, "It is not that I am brave. It is that I know what deserves my fear and what does not." Most of us are afraid of the wrong things. We are afraid of the discomfort of change, but we are not afraid enough of the slow erosion of a life half lived. We fear the pain of breaking the habit, but we have grown strangely comfortable with the pain of keeping it. That comfort is the real trap. Khalil Gibran wrote something that stopped me completely when I first read it. He said, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding." The discomfort you feel when you try to change is not punishment. It is not evidence that you are failing. It is the shell breaking. It is the old version of you making room for the one you are becoming. And yes, it will hurt. Change always does. But here is what nobody tells you about that pain. It has an end. The pain of breaking a habit is temporary. The pain of keeping one is permanent. Choose your pain wisely. So where do you begin? Not with a 30-day challenge, not with an app, not with another rule you add to an already exhausted mind. You begin with one moment. The next time the pull comes, and it will come, pause. Just pause. One breath. And in that breath, ask yourself one question. What am I feeling right now? Not what am I doing? Not what should I do? What am I feeling? Name it. Lonely, anxious, bored, afraid, unseen. Just name it. That naming is the first act of awareness. And awareness, as Epictetus knew from the flaw of his enslavement, is the one thing no circumstance can ever take from you. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his final years, "Confine yourself to the present. Not the habit you had yesterday, not the person you were last year. The present, this breath, this moment, this choice. You are not your history of bad habits. You are the awareness that can see them. And awareness always has a choice. You are not weak. You were simply unaware. Now you are not. And that changes everything.